This blew my mind when I saw it this morning. Believe it or not, things are getting so much worse for Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Jack Smith, Matthew Graves, Fannie Willis. I've been making the predictions and I've been seeing in the comments, where are the arrests? When are the investigations gonna start? And I don't blame you guys, but they just started. Today. Well, I guess technically yesterday when the Senate confirmed Pam Bondi to lead the Justice Department. Dude, she hit the ground running on the agenda, just like Donald Trump did, making all kinds of moves.
Pam Bondi was sworn in as Attorney General Wednesday. During her confirmation, the first that President Trump attended in his second term, she promised to, quote, make him proud. And she wasted no time getting started on his agenda. CBS News has confirmed that Bondi will issue several directives to the Justice Department to, quote, combat weaponization of the legal system, end quote. Those include ending the moratorium on federal executions, halting federal funding for sanctuary cities, and terminating DEI programs at the department, diversity, equity, and inclusion. She will also start a group to review Biden administration law enforcement policies. This was first reported by Fox News.
It's interesting having all these different agencies move on the agenda in ways I did not expect. I would have never expected the DOJ to be involved with the dismantling of funding for sanctuary cities. But I guess you have to have lawyers to battle in court as these judges are filing injunctions left and right. I mean, they're really fighting against an entrenched bureaucracy, so it makes sense that there needs to be institutional support in multiple different facets.
CBS News Department of Justice reporter Jake Rosen joins me now. Jake, how will these major directives impact the department and its operations?
Well, a lot of these executive orders and memos that Trump has signed and now Pam Bondi is putting into place really kind of fit the bill of what we've seen from Donald Trump, ending DEI in the Department of Justice, really going after immigration and making immigration the focus of the Department of Justice, and encouraging law enforcement and its partners in the FBI and across the DOJ to really join in federal partners to do that. However, when you go back to what you just read, there's a lot of emphasis now on kind of focusing on the Trump investigations that we saw and covered over the last 4 years. And some of that is investigating and reworking part of the Trump investigations in D.C. in terms of Trump's actions after January 6th, those classified document case, in addition to the 2 New York cases. But
it's really interesting when you're hearing about this from the left, because they don't perceive all of this stuff as connected. You and I mean, at least most of the people I talk to that are in our sphere of things understand that this is a connected system of attempting to dismantle our country. It's a Cloward and Pivon problem reaction solution method of attempting to overwhelm our country, our ability to handle social services and everything. The idea was to override and overburden the system to create and increase social tensions. And in order to address this and alleviate those tensions, it would force the federal government to create solutions on the federal level. Basically, this whole thing, it was a plan to establish communism in the United States, or at least set some heavy socialist foundations through overwhelming the welfare system and social services. Hey, if the Cloud and Pivon strategy reminds you guys of the last 4 years, hit that like and subscribe button for me. It really helps me fight the algorithm, guys. Thank you.
So really what we've seen is a reprioritization of the Biden administration, or of the Trump administration's rather, immigration policies across the DOJ, but also really focusing on really going after and potentially weaponizing the DOJ against people who went after Donald Trump.
It's so interesting how when it's the left that does it, it's saving the 2020 election. It's saving America. It's fighting foreign interference. But when the right is trying to hold people accountable for their illegal actions and the lawfare they engaged in to defame and destroy someone's character in order to win an election, all of a sudden, magically, it's weaponization of the justice system. It's corruption personified.
All right, tell us more about the weaponization working group and what it will be doing.
Yeah, and this working group is going to be investigating everything from things that Donald Trump spoke about constantly on the trail, which is alleged behavior of the Biden administration going after Catholics and going after parents at school board meetings. That really focuses about parents' rights and religious autonomy in America, two things that conservatives have made a big point of. But again, like it also goes after potentially Alvin Bragg, who we know launched that case that sent Donald Trump to court back in May, and he was found guilty in that case. he'll go after these investigation will go after Letitia James, who launched that civil action lawsuit against Donald Trump over fraud in New York City, in addition to investigating these two Jack Smith cases.
Oh man, you guys heard that, right? Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, Jack Smith, called out by name. Oh man, memorandum for all department employees, restoring the integrity and credibility of the Department of Justice. The Department of Justice must take immediate and overdue steps to restore the integrity and credibility with the public that we are charged with protecting, and to ensure the department's personnel are ready and willing to faithfully implement the policy agenda of the duly elected President of the United States. These steps are required because, as President Trump pointed out, following his second inauguration, the prior administration and his allies throughout the country engaged in an unprecedented third world weaponization of prosecutorial power to upend the democratic process. Yo, official Department of Justice memorandum from the Attorney General of the United States. The investigation has started.
In that memo, Pam Bondi makes clear that she wants to go after the people who made those decisions at the top and coordinated between state, federal government, not to go after that law enforcement kind of group that just followed orders.
One of her 14 first-day directives was to create a task force to examine the weaponization of the Justice Department. Bondi directed the weaponization group to investigate former special counsel Jack Smith. Who told you Jack Smith was about to get his ass investigated? Oh my gosh, who brought the two federal criminal cases against Trump, one over Trump's role in January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, and another on Trump's mishandling of classified documents. Oh man. And she had directed the group to examine federal cooperation with the weaponization by the offices of Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Yo, I feel so vindicated right now. I hope you all feel vindicated right now, because we called it. It's happening. It's for real. I'm so stoked, man. If you're interested, this video up here explains how Letitia James and Alvin Bragg violated Trump's due process rights, and this video explains exactly when we can expect some charges.